That's a good idea. Okay, very good. All right, let's get rolling. We haven't done this for a while. Hello, everyone. Spirit Talks video project. Welcome. It's the 12th of October, 2016. The stars are aligned. It's finally time. Anyway, thanks for your patience. Apologies for not being on here for a little while. It's great to reconnect with you all. Thank you for sharing your time and your attention with me. I'd like to see if I can either turn my heater off or take my jacket off before I melt. 1 second. There we go. All right. We survived that. Thank you, God. Here we go. One more time. Great to be with you, as I say. Excuse me, there's Dennis and Jillian and Sarita. Michaela Hobbs, what a nice surprise. Becky, yeah, Sarah from down the road. Hi, my dear Trudy from Oz. Marilyn from Missouri. Good to be with you all. So I'll try to find a little inspiration here to share with you. And as you all know, I'd like to see if I can weave the events of the world into our awakening consciousness and make a bit of sense of it all, and then end with a channeled prayer or meditation. So I'm glad we've made it this far. I haven't made it this far in about 10 days, it feels like here, so I'm delighted about that. I was just playing this lovely lady I met up in, I met here online, but she's from the north. She's from Belfast, I think. Her name is Stellar, and her Einsof, that was the music I was just playing. It's really beautiful. She's a great singer, great composer. So I recommend her to you all here. And Ein Sof Ar is the highest light of God, and that's a good theme to work with here tonight. God, Goddess, all that is. So I hope you're all doing well. Judy's here. Great to have you. Yeah, thank you, Judy. Always a pleasure. And let's see, where do I want to start tonight? Um, la la la. I want to talk about Amma, who's in Dublin this weekend, the famous hugging saint. She's amazing, and if you are in the area, please go and experience her. She's the real deal. She's incredible, and I'll talk a little bit more about Amma. Um, and I want to talk about Patricia Cota-Robles has a new prayer, and we can do this here tonight. A reminder about the importance of working towards divine government in our crazy world that we're living in. Bless us. And then my friend Dorit from Portland has sent me a really interesting astrology about the election and the general energies. I put a picture of Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, and Bill Clinton on my website for the first time. Thank you, because it seems Israel is there. Thank you, brother. It seems it's appropriate. So let's see. Yeah, can I get to that? Yes, here in a moment, and then I'll read some of my own channeled writing as well here. Thanks to my dear friend Brenda, who will listen to this at some point, and Arancha, who also, I'm just reminded, she did a new one as well. I think that was a guided meditation. Um, so, um, la 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 la. Where are we going to begin here? Okay, I'll start at the low end of the vibration, and we'll work our way up. Um, yeah, talking about the U.S. election and Naomi, and as a measure of our consciousness and how to work with taking our power back as the light workers of planet Earth. Yeah, I just got to do a lovely little Skype call with my dear friend Poppy and my new dear friend here, Sandy. And Poppy is a lovely therapist who I've met online and work with, and she's an angel and doing great work and helping people in wonderful ways. So I'm proud to know her and to be a part of her journey. And Sandy is the 70-year-old angel who reads lips, and so I'm keeping the music to a minimum here tonight, so I can connect with Sandy. Offer this as a Valentine to Sandy tonight here, whenever she sees this. It was an amazing story. I'm sure she'd be okay with sharing this. You never know who you're going to meet in the wide world of the internet and life. And so Sandy got onto my Skype call tonight with myself and Poppy. Sandy is this very sweet. My guides kept saying she's an angel in this world, and it's true. She's a very, very sweet lady who had a heart problem from birth, and no one ever expected her to live to be 20. And here she is, here she is, cruising past 70, and she is a gentle flower of a lady, and she lives a pretty physically limited life. She had the oxygen, in the nose, God love her, but she's a lover of life of the first order, and just such a spiritually inspiring person. Poppy and I were both in tears talking to this lady and hearing her story. So I just want to share a little bit of that with you, because it was a real gift. So what my guides were saying in the channeling that I did with the two of them was that, we come together in these moments like here and now, whenever here and now is, and we share something, love, really, of course, the love of spirit and the love of our spirit that transcends time and space. And so Poppy was in London, and Sandy was in Colorado, Grand Junction, I think, and here I am in this Southern Ireland. And but yet, we come from different whatevers, and we look different, and our ages are different, and all that good fun. But we were just, doing a great connection there. So again, it's a joy. That was kind of a warm up. I'm realizing, excuse me, for me to be back on here with you tonight. So much love to Sandy, and much gratitude to Sandy, and love and to Sandy and Poppy both. It was a special moment. So I hope you can feel some of that. Yeah, there's Bennett from yeah, Norway, I think, and Jenny. Yeah, good to have you. So all right, now that I've shared a bit of love and all that, we'll just kind of plow through the energies of what's happening. I am a student of astrology, and here's another astrologer, and this will kind of talk about the election, and then I'll move into Patricia Coda Robles and Amma, and we'll yeah, make some sense of it all here. This is our buddy Eric Francis Coppolino, and he says, this is certainly an interesting time. Very few moments in modern American political history stand out like what we're seeing now. We can name a few: the impeachment, the stolen election, the events of September 11th, the Iran-Contra scandal, and those strange days of August 1974 when Nixon resigned. For those who've been watching with dismay as these travesties, this is the American election he's referring to, of current time, have gone down over the decades, what's now happening is a culmination point. The total unraveling of a fraudulent candidacy, of the candidate himself, and of his entire political party, which is now lying in tatters. Yeah, I think that's true for both parties personally here. I would remind you that what's happening is much, much larger than it seems. It represents something going on not just in the foreground, but in the wide and deep and invisible background. Hold that thought, and let's go to the astrology. Today we have an exuberant aspect. Mercury conjunct Jupiter in Libra describes intelligence, beauty, and balance. It describes a moment of awakening, but there are other more sensitive aspects brewing. So keep that in mind, that Jupiter is very important right now and very powerful right now, representing the higher self. The first is the Aries full moon, which takes place Saturday night into early Sunday. The full moon is building like a wave that crests in an exact conjunction to the goddess of discord and identity crisis, Eris. It is also conjunct Uranus, a planet associated with electrical and electronic realm. It is also the planet of revolt and to expect the unexpected. My version of Uranus's energy is sudden and unexpected events revealing deeper truth. There's a hint of violence with the moon, Uranus and Aries in the sign associated with aggression. Yeah. A full moon in feisty Aries aligned with this era-defining conjunction means that anything is possible, and this is really the theme, you know, about all of this. At minimum, we will proceed through the week with mounting tension and a sense of not knowing what's next. This is just general, so don't take any of this as, you know, carved in stone. By Friday, we could see events move so quickly that news breaks by the hour. Astrology does not always deliver what is described in the chart, though that is what's described. Meanwhile, a conjunction between Mars and Pluto is building in Capricorn. Mars is still slow and powerful after its retrograde process that lasted all year. Two potent, focused energies are about to make a conjunction in the sign of government. This has a potentially violent feeling. Arlene Kramer, one of the master astrologers of our time, once said in her opinion, it represents the head in the equation. Once said that in her opinion, the keynote of Pluto in Capricorn was heads will roll, quote unquote. All right, as I say, I'm just doing this to give a general lay of the land energetically here. With Mars, which represents the head in the equation, that's a little ominous. It might represent many things, including something or someone being incapacitated. So, all right, Mars is the will, of course. It's the masculine principle. It's assertion when it's loving and supportive and healthy and balanced. It's aggression and violent when it's not, when it's out of balance, right? When it feels unsupported, all of that. Okay, and then finally, nearly done here. Doing the chart for the next week's horoscope, I noticed that the asteroid Requiem is mixed in with the Mars-Pluto conjunction. Requiem is the Roman Catholic Mass for the dead. There are other hints in the chart. Yeah, the presence of an asteroid about overreaction, Ophelia, and another about interwoven threads and conspiracies, Arachne. Okay, so that's just to be a little bit dramatic about it. He says, I'm not here to make predictions. I practice the philosophy that astrology can be used to avert problems, to turn negative forces to positive ends. Absolutely. Okay, so you get the picture one more time. That, and for those in the States watching all this very closely, I'm sure I don't have to explain any of this. So whatever Trump has said over the weekend about his sexual exploits, that's that part of the ugly story. And then Hillary, more WikiLeaks emails and voicemails released every day. So it seems like Julian Assange and WikiLeaks are really turning up the heat. Okay, so that's the challenge, is that things are quite wibbly wobbly, as the guy says. Okay, so here's what Patricia Cota-Robles says. This is a critical moment in the evolution of humanity and the ascension process we are all experiencing at this time. There is a divine plan unfolding that may not be obvious to our finite minds, but that humanity's I Am presence and the legions of light in the realms of illumined truth are well aware of and are orchestrating in divine order. I love Patricia. This newsletter will reach hundreds of thousands of awakening light workers around the globe, and the entire company of heaven is invoking the assistance of everyone who has the heart call to participate in this endeavor to bring this facet of the divine plan to fruition, God victoriously. Okay, as you know, the United States of America is in the midst of the most polarized presidential elections we have ever experienced. It seems as though the political parties are diametrically opposed, and no one really knows what the end result of this election will bring to the U.S. and the rest of the world. Whether we like it or not, what happens in the U.S. affects the entire world. All we have to do is look at how the corruption and fraud of our financial and mortgage systems nearly destroyed the global economy in 2008. Yeah, I think that got everyone's attention. At this time, each political party is expressing a lot of fear and anxiety about what will occur if the candidate for the other party is elected, etc. Well, we all know that. The company of heaven is asking light workers, awakening light workers, to intervene in this political fiasco. And instead of empowering the chaos by focusing on the negativity, we are being asked to co-create the patterns of perfection for the new earth that we know how to create. That's the most important thing I've said since I started talking here tonight. These are the patterns that our I Am presence has been training us for lifetimes to co-create when the time was right. That time is now. Okay. So her request here for all of us is, and I have this on my Facebook page, is to do this intention, this prayer, every day for the next 29, 30 days. Yeah, thank you. So we're going to do it here together tonight in a minute. Thank you. So basically, I just love what she just said there. The company of heaven is asking awakening light workers to intervene, and instead of empowering chaos by focusing on negativity, we're being asked to co-create the patterns of perfection. So Eric Francis is saying, look, folks, all this energy is revealing things. This has been David Icke's theme for as long as I've listened to him, of course. Everything has to come up to be purified. The first step in emotional healing is confronting our denial. I lived in the States for 50 years. There's a lot of denial, my friends, that gets spoon-fed to every American about, that gets used for its own purpose. I love America. I love the promise of America. And that's why it's important that the ideals, the principles, the courage, the commitment, the freedom to think for ourselves, speak for ourselves, co-create a fair, just, equitable world, why all of that is so important to the rest of the world as well as to the U.S. So all of Hillary's stuff, all of Trump's stuff, all of that is just getting revealed, and their character or lack of it, and their the hidden agendas, the TETP and the Dakota pipeline. Those people are still getting arrested out there for their nonviolent protest, at gunpoint. That's gotten pretty crazy. They're still there, and they still need our love and support. We still want to surround all of that with love and light. But the election is coming down to its final hour here. So know, however, that no matter where you are on the sweet earth, we are one, and that your light and love are needed now. This is the end of her statement here from Patricia Cota-Robles, eraofpeace.org, under the news thing. All right, the following is an invocation that has been given to humanity from on high. All right, I'll save that for a minute here. We'll save that for our big finish. Yeah, I like to. So you get the picture. And God bless Jill Stein and her running mate, and the other voices, Jamu, I think, Baraka, and all the voices of peace and sanity and love and healing and compassion. Your voices are needed. Your light and love is needed. Your energy is needed. There's Valerie, Sheila. Hi, guys. So this is our time. Maybe this is why we haven't chatted for the last 10 days, so we could have a real focused energy here. So I'll say again to people that have just joined, let me get a quick drink here. Patricia Cota-Robles, who's a great channel, who channels the company of heaven, has asked us to hold this focus for the next 30 days, approximately till November 11th, for America and for divine government. All right, so we'll get into that here. I'll come back to that, yeah. But I want to talk, before I do that, about forgiveness. This is the last quote that Brenda transcribed from my guides, and it was an amazing session. And I'm studying the Course in Miracles. Dennis, thank you, got me a copy of the book again. And today's lesson that I was working with was I am as God has created me. And so when and I also heard a great there's Brandon, a great interview with Bruce Springsteen, who just continues to become more humble, more vulnerable, truly an extraordinary human being, in the publication of his autobiography and in talking about his depression and his therapy and every other thing. Wow, if you didn't love Bruce before, you certainly are invited to now, because again, this is the time of us opening our hearts to ourselves and to each other, and sincerity, honesty, vulnerability, willingness, inspiration, integrity. These values are so powerful. That energy is being turned up, right? While the other energy is getting exposed, and we're seeing, where we've been lied to or where we've lied to ourselves. All right. So forgiveness is the energy, is the bridge, as Brenda pointed out here. The bridge of forgiveness is the energy that allows us to move from fear and pain and judgment and blame and guilt and shame, all the weapons of the negative ego, back into self-love, self-worth, self-acceptance, self-care, compassion, etc. Forgiveness says you can make a mistake, you can change your mind, you don't have to seek after perfection. If you want to seek for perfection, seek for love, because love is all the perfection you'll ever need. But anything outside of love is going to be very hard to find perfection about it. That's another gift from my guides. So forgiveness, we've been taught, we've been programmed, we've conditioned, sold on the idea. It's about forgiving others, those bad people out there in the world who, who disappoint us and lie to us and steal from us, all of that. Yes, that's part of the journey. But you see, denial, right? If we don't forgive ourselves, then the picture is incomplete. It's like trying to see with one eye or fly with one wing, etc. what does Michael Beck was say? What you're looking at is what you're looking with. Okay, how you perceive your reality is the reality that you're perceiving. It really is like that. So again, my friends, to have a spiritual practice, to have a daily spiritual practice is for my guides to work with prayer, affirmative prayer, meditation, journaling, which are the keys that give you access to your inner self, and then to seek after, inspiration, to give and receive inspiration. And inspiration is the voice of spirit. And when we hear the voice of spirit, our heart is open. And when our heart is open, then we're in our passion, our purpose, our power. Okay? If we're afraid, if we're trying to dominate or manipulate or intimidate ourselves or another, if we try to talk ourselves into things, right? I just have to go on my little rant here for a minute. Then we're not listening. You see that using the will to push past love, that's aggression. Yeah, that's hurtful to ourselves and to each other. Forgiveness is about being gentle, right? The divine feminine, gentleness, nurturing, tenderness, mothering, accepting, supporting, all of that. Okay, so here's a good segue. Thanks, guys. So who is one of the greatest channels of the Divine Mother on the planet? Yes, that's right, everyone. Her name is Amma. And I've had the great privilege of getting 3 hugs from this amazing lady. This is my teacher for today. And as I said, Amma is going to be in Dublin over the weekend. And I have this on my page as well. City West Convention Center, admission free, all are welcome, the 14th through the 16th. And I went with my dear friend and brother Reggie in LA the first time I met her. And yeah, she was, and we were with an elderly friend of ours, Al was his name, I believe. I hope that's right. Yeah. Anyway, and Al was partially blind. He didn't have good vision, so we were looking after him. And because he was, disabled, we as soon as we got to Amma's space there, where she was at the front, and there were thousands of people waiting to get their 1-minute hug with Amma, we were put at the front of the queue. And so as soon as we walked in the door, 50 minutes later, we'd had our hug, our first hug with Amma. And, let me tell you, it is extraordinary, and she is extraordinary. And she's well worth the effort to experience her and to support her great work. All right, so here I'm just going to read from her page, amma.org, how she began. Even as a small girl, she drew attention with the many hours she spent in deep meditation on the seashore. She composed devotional songs and could often be seen singing to the divine with heartfelt emotion. Despite her tender age, her compositions revealed remarkable depth and wisdom. When she was 9 years old, her mother became ill, and Amma was withdrawn from school in order to help the household tasks and take care of her 7 siblings. As she went door to door gathering food scraps from neighbors for her family's cows, she was confronted with intense poverty, suffering that existed in her community and in the world beyond it. Where Amma encountered people in need, she brought them food and clothing from her own home. She was undeterred by the scolding and punishment she received from her family for doing so. She also began to spontaneously embrace people to comfort them in their sorrow. Responding to her affectionate care, they began to call her Amma, mother. Her name is Mata, but I've just been calling her Amma here. Amma was deeply affected by the profound suffering she witnessed. According to Hinduism, the suffering of the individual is due to his or her own karma, the results of actions performed in the past. Amma accepted this concept, but she refused to accept it as a justification for inaction. Amma contemplated the principle of karma until she revealed an even more profound truth. asking a question she continues to ask each of us to this day. If it is one man's karma to suffer, isn't it our dharma duty to help ease his suffering and pain? Truly so. With the simple yet profound conviction that each of us has a responsibility to lending a helping hand to those less fortunate, Amma moved forward with confidence in her life of service and compassionate care for all beings, uniquely expressed by the motherly embrace she offers to all who seek solace in her arms. In Amma's community, however, it was not permissible for the 14-year-old girl to touch others, especially men. Amma explains, in India, women are expected to remain in the background. It is said that even the walls should not hear them. Sad. My family could not understand my way of reaching out to people. They had no idea of the spiritual principles. But despite these reactions, Amma followed her heart, later explaining, a continuous stream of love flows from me to all of creation. This is my inborn nature. The duty of a doctor is to treat patients. In the same way, my duty is to console those who are suffering. Amma says that love expressed is compassion, and compassion means accepting the needs and sorrows of others as one's own. Absolutely gorgeous. So there's Amma, and I've, just the tiniest little bit here. I don't have an interview or anything queued up here to play for you, but I do encourage you to learn more about dear Amma. All right, now my channeling is going to say something slightly different about that, because this is where we get lost, where people give so much that they don't have anything left for themselves. Yeah, and this is especially true for women, or people give and they don't receive for themselves. So take this in, make space for this for a moment here. This is from my guides from a session. Yeah, they say you cannot be both the healer and the wounded inner child held hostage by the pain and fear of another at the same time. You cannot live in both fear and love at the same moment. It cannot be done, not by anyone. You cannot be guilt-free unless you choose to forgive yourself. From pain and fear, through the bridge of forgiveness, you come back to being able to listen to, trust, and follow your truth. The louder other people shout and the more they demand, the bigger their dramas, the less it is your truth. Do not take responsibility for anyone else's pain or fear. In other words, don't lose yourself in your compassion, and don't substitute giving to others as an excuse not to receive what you need for yourself as well. It's tricky, yeah, boundaries. Your compassion for your own pain and fear does not help anyone else. Your compassion for yourself helps you. As you help yourself, you are able, by invitation, to offer to them what dry land looks like. If they are lost and drowning, let them drown. Do them a big favor. Do not save them by drowning with them. You do not help them by giving in to their fear. See, this is a tricky subject to talk about because, it's slightly different from what we just heard from Amma, but maybe you'll relate to it. Your compassion and your pity does not help them find their truth and set themselves free. It keeps them lost. It turns you into their higher power, rather than searching for their own higher power. Do you feel the difference? If people do not give themselves permission to seriously get on their spiritual journey, they are just lost in the illusion over and over again. They start over again in another lifetime. That's fine. That is not a problem, and it has been done 100 times and more. You cannot be their higher power. Allow yourself to find your own connection to your own higher power. Allow it to amaze you. Allow it to warm the heart of you. Allow it to lift you up. Allow it to be that sliver of light in the darkness that leads you out of the confusion. Surrender the best of your ability in this now moment to what you know in your heart to be true. If it is grief, anger, sadness, bring it on. Find your voice. Tear down the wall. Throw away the mask. Speak your truth. Stand your ground. Love yourself enough to let Spirit help you. I like that. It is your connection to your soul and spirit, your connection to God, Goddess, all that is, that will bring you through anything and everything. Allow yourself to learn to trust your truth. It's as simple as that. It is so easy, but the mind doubts what the heart knows to be true. Ideas and thoughts, theories and plans are fine. Just make sure that in your heart of hearts it rings true to every part of you, every cell in your body, every breath that you take. There you go. All right, so that's from my guides. La la la. So we're whipping through it here in good order. Thank you very much. Very grateful. Yeah. So I want to do Patricia's divine government prayer here, and then I'll close out with a channeling. Right? I think is there. I've been watching West Wing, which is the great American political show of the 2000 years by Aaron Sorkin. There were like 7 seasons of West Wing, and I'm on season 6 at this point because I had to just turn off the crazy, mad, insane, terrible, tragic, hopeless political thing and find some inspiration. So that's filled my tank for some inspiration. So I'm very grateful for that. All right. So I hope all that is helpful. I hope all that makes sense to you. Yeah. I'll just do my little bit here. Yeah. You can find me at LouMartin.eu for sessions, one-on-one sessions, and to look at my book, our ebook, The Invitation, that I've gotten so much help on creating, and the next version is coming soon. Yeah, and what else? You're welcome to look at all the web pages that are out there. Spirit Talks, Awakened Spirits Network. Yeah, those are there. And donations are always welcome to me and my little cause here through PayPal at lighthearts2012@gmail.com. So that's all of that. All right. So that's been brilliant. Yeah, we'll keep it. We'll keep the connection going here since we have it. I'll do Patricia and divine prayer, and then I'll do a channeling, and we'll leave you with that. Yeah. So great to be with you. Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and thank you again for your attention and your interest in me and my spirit work here. Bless Amma. If you can see her, go see her in Dublin or wherever she is. She's a gift. And learn more about her and her great work and her brilliant teaching. And you can just tune into her energy as well. She is definitely a channel for the Divine Mother. And whatever happens over the next week and over the next month, know that you're safe, loved, and supported, and that Spirit is looking after you and looking out for you. And your prayers are always answered. The answer is always yes. And by giving thanks, we receive what we've asked for in the perfect time and the perfect way. All right, everyone. So go ahead, if you will, and you can close your eyes and take a deep breath. This is the call for divine government, channeled from Patricia Cota-Robles. I am my I am presence, and I am one with the I am presence of all humanity. As one breath, one voice, one heartbeat, and one energy, vibration and consciousness of pure divine love, I invoke my Mother, Father, God, and the great beings of light associated with co-creating divine government on this blessed planet. I also invoke the mighty archangels and the ascended masters, guarding the evolutions of Earth. Blessed ones, blaze the most intensified frequencies of divine will, divine love, and divine wisdom from the very heart of our Father, Mother, God, in, through, and around every person involved with the governments of Earth in any way. I ask you exponentially expand this divine light within the heart flame of every man, woman, and child. In the heart flame of every man and woman running for office in the U.S. and throughout the world at this time. Blessed ones, blaze the most intensified, now beloved legions of light, blaze these intensified frequencies of divine will, divine love, and divine wisdom in, through, and around every single registered voter in the U.S., awaken the entire electorate to the profound opportunity at hand, and enlighten every person to the profound truth that it is time for divine government to manifest now. Let each person tangibly feel and experience the power, love, and wisdom of our Father, Mother, God flowing through their heart flame as they vote for each candidate and all of the issues before them. I now invoke the I Am presence of every person who will be elected during this presidential election season, and all of those who are presently serving at national, state, or local levels, to take full dominion of that person's thoughts, feelings, words, actions, beliefs, and memories. Help that person to hear and to listen to the still small voice within that will guide him or her unerringly toward the fulfillment of the unfolding divine plan for this sweet earth. And finally, now, beloved ones, seal the activity of light I have invoked this sacred and holy day in the immortal, victorious, threefold flame anchored within my heart and the heart of every person on earth. Expand this activity of light daily and hourly, 1,000 times 1,000-fold, until planet Earth and all life evolving upon her have God victoriously completed our ascension into the fifth dimensional frequencies of the new Earth. Now, through all realms of consciousness, I decree, victory is ours in love governing this planet. Victory is ours in love governing this planet. Victory is ours in love governing this planet. And so it is. Beloved, I am. Beloved, I am. Beloved, I am. Take a deep breath. All right, dear friends, here we come. Yeah, building upon the wave of light and love, flowing in, through, and around your heart center here and now. Imagine that the earth is surrounded by the angels of peace and the angels of grace, who in this sweet moment release and relieve the fears, the doubts, the worries, the struggles, the pain, the loneliness, the anger, the hatred, the regret, the sorrow of humanity. Take a deep breath. Let peace penetrate to the very core of the consciousness that is humanity. Let peace surround and support, bless and prosper, heal and nurture, transmute and transform the consciousness of this powerful human race. Take a deep breath. And let forgiveness, the bridge that each soul must walk between the illusion to return to the truth, let an angel of forgiveness surround this beautiful human race. The angels of forgiveness, dear friends, taking from you the confusions, the uncertainties, the anxieties, the doubts, all that has troubled you, all that has wounded you, all that has kept you feeling like a prisoner of others' opinions, of others' perceptions, of others' beliefs. Give that gift of forgiveness. Let that angel of forgiveness replace those confusions with healing, with mercy, with tenderness, with understanding, with compassion, with a willingness to heal and change and grow, with a willingness to come home. Take a deep breath. The angels of peace, the angels of forgiveness, dear friends, the angels of grace, that which you do not earn, that which you simply open to receive, that which you do not make happen, but you rather allow through your willingness to believe in the spiritual nature of your true self. Magic and miracles. That's the energy of grace, dear friends. Where in your life, where in your heart, where in your world will you allow the angels of grace to whisper in your ear, to kiss your cheek, to hold your hand, to open the door of your imagination and of your future and of your dreams? Take a deep breath. Peace is the beginning. Peace is the foundation. Peace is infinite potential. Peace is the place where you remember what's possible. Forgiveness is the doorway. Forgiveness is the change. Forgiveness is the willingness to begin again. Forgiveness is remembering your spiritual nature. And grace, dear friends, the angels of grace. Grace is when you've made the journey, when you've taken your power back, when you've done the work, when you've quieted your mind, opened your heart, and invited your spirit to return into your present experience for you, for your loved ones, for humanity, for this world. The angels of peace, of forgiveness and grace. Dear friends, you are so loved. You are so valued. And what you do, what you believe, what you commit to, what you focus upon, what you give your time and attention to, your resources, emotional, spiritual, financial, dear friends, all of it makes your voice heard, lets your song be sung, brings your vision to the mind of humanity. You have a choice. You have impact. You have help. Dear friends, seize the moment. Take your stand. Shine your light. Share your love. And know that all is so very well for you and for humanity as one, dear friends. You stand for the many. You stand for millions. You stand for the earth. Dear friends, receive the gift of peace and grace through your willingness to love and forgive yourself. We love you so. We bring 7 stars down through time and space. Touch the crown of your head. Take a deep breath. Above and below, left and right, before, behind, within and all around, in peace, with grace, forgiven, set free. Humanity comes home. Dear friends, so it is. Peace and blessings. Namaste. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful night, wonderful day. Much love. Talk to you soon. Peace and blessings.